Back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only, just David. As I get settled here today this morning, what is going on? Well, listen, we covered BravoCon. Did everyone listen to the past 2 days? The Thursday show, the Friday show. I covered BravoCon, but you know what? You guys want me to cover BravoCon RHONJ style. So let's do that. If we have time at the end, I want to cover some other things about BravoCon that I haven't talked about yet. And then let's talk a little Beverly Hills. Has everyone watched this week's episode of Beverly Hills? As I sip my coffee, if we have time, but let's focus on what we need to start with. RHONJ BravoCon, right? We haven't talked about any of that yet, and we have some things to get to here today. I first want to start with, there is this rumor going around, which is, it's not really a rumor. We have the split panels, it's just so Jersey rides so much harder than the other franchises. We have these other franchises where people don't necessarily get along, right? There's some fighting on Potomac. There's fighting on Dubai, which is coming up, if anyone cares. There's fighting on Beverly Hills, and yet everyone is able to come together as an adult and have a panel. I think we take for granted now because it's the second year that we're having a divided panel with New Jersey, that Teresa and Melissa can't be on the same panel. I just think that shouldn't be understated because, right? Like everyone else can come together. I mean, they've filmed a whole season where they're not talking. They can't sit on a panel together for an hour. We're still here, guys. So I just want to put that out there. Let's focus on the Margaret, Joe Benigno, Melissa, Joey Gorga, Danielle Cabral, and Rachel Fuda panel. There's this rumor going around, which isn't really a rumor, that nobody attended. It seemed to be less attended than the Teresa, Jennifer Aydin, Jackie Goldschneider panel. So it did seem less attended than that. For whatever that's worth, I know the TreHuggers are having a field day with that. Yeah, I mean, it's one panel was more heavily attended than the other. I don't really know if there's anything more to say than that. I don't really know what that means. Let's actually start with a bang. Let's start with the fact that let's talk about the Teresa panel. So we have Teresa, we have Louis, we have Jennifer Aydin there, and Bill, and then we have, Jackie is there as well. So first I want to talk about the fact that Teresa says that she is done with her brother. I mean, we have questions from the audience. These questions are not screened. They're not on note cards. Anybody can get up. Anyone could ask a question. And so, one of the questions, of course, is, will you reconcile? Nothing Teresa hasn't said in the past, 9 months, 6 months, that that ship has sailed, that chapter is closed. And I think it should be. Honestly, I think it should be. It's enough. It's enough. She's now saying, my parents aren't here. Look, I get it. I think family is more important than anything. I think with family, you try extra hard. You don't just throw away a family member. But at some point, to say that your parents are looking down on you and your parents would want you to be close with your brother, it just, to me, it doesn't translate. If you have to now wake up and spend 24 hours of your day completely miserable, at some point you have to just do what's best for you in your life. And this, to me, is really unfortunate, but that's where we are. And I get it. I get it. You can't say, I feel guilty. Like, I really understand what Teresa's going through. Like, I do. That, you feel guilty and you feel you should try, but at some point you just can't do it anymore. So that's where we are. We all know this. She says that, she's done with her brother. The ship has sailed when someone asks, and she gets booed. So that's the first thing that happened. Okay. We're going to get into, there's that. Now, Louis is then, when someone asks a question, very valid question. Somebody asked Louis, describe what you actually do for a living. And he tries to describe it. And the more he tries to describe it, this person kind of pushes, and there's comments from the audience. And it was just this narrative of, we still don't know what the hell you do. So the point where I'm actually getting to is, these questions were shady. And now there's this narrative out there that Margaret Josephs, Melissa Gorga, and Joe Gorga have plans, that they have found Melissa fans, they have found Josefina Gorgasita fans. Margaret has her army, and they have planted people to go to this panel and ask all these shady questions. That is what is going around out there. Look, do I think that New Jersey plays harder than any other franchise? Absolutely. Do I believe that New Jersey has the finstas and Melissa's old nose and the rumors? This one's run by Margaret and this one's run by, Melissa, and Teresa pays off bloggers and lesser than me podcasts to do, Louis and Teresa pay these D-list, let's say, podcasts to put out a narrative that's fake. Do I believe some of that's true? Probably. Yeah. Do I really think that people with so much to do at BravoCon are so loyal to? I mean, it's a crazy day. You have to decide. I mean, the lines are so intense. So you have to decide, do you go see Sutton at her store? Do you get a picture with a Bravo celebrity? Do you go to a panel? You really cannot do everything. You have to choose, and you have to be happy with what you chose. And let me say, you then stand in line for the hour that it's booked, and you don't even get to the front of the line. So it's running around and trying to get access. It's literally crazy. So do I think that people that are there to see all their Bravo celebrities, Southern Charm, Summer House, Winter House, Below Deck, Beverly Hills Housewives, Potomac, Atlanta, and they're so loyal to Melissa and Josefina Gorgasita and Margaret Josephs, the Marge, that they were planted and they are willing to do this just to ask these shady questions? I do not. I really don't. I'm sorry, TreHuggers. I don't buy this one. I am a flip-flopper. I am not Team Melissa. I am not Team Teresa. I am Team David Yontef and Behind the Velvet Rope. I love all the housewives and Bravo celebrities that come on this podcast. If you don't come on this podcast, I don't necessarily have a use for you. I mean, I wish you luck, but you're neither here nor there to me. I'm just doing a job here. So I got to side with Margaret and Melissa and Joe on this one. I don't buy it. I don't buy that these people, I think, listen, people are asking shady questions at every panel, right? But I do agree